about my age. I'm 24, and she dressed that way to show off her perfect figure. I forced myself to take another gulp of tomato juice. She gestured at my travel cup. Did you stop by the new smoothie shop? No way was I getting into the issue of my shrinking pants. Mineral water, I said. Well, of course, she said. That smoothie shop is awfully expensive. For some people. Brooke was married to a dentist. They had a young daughter and lived in a newer, upscale tract of homes just outside of town. I'd heard the place was gorgeous. I didn't know. She'd never invited me to her house. Gotta run, I said. That's right. I heard you're working at the visitor center now? Another thing about Hideaway Grove was that news, gossip, and even the tiniest whisper of a scandal traveled at the speed of light. Brooke's smile vacillated between patronization and pity. Look at you, working a real job. Isn't that sweet? Catch you later, I said, and I hoped it wouldn't happen as I walked away. Abby! I huffed to hold in my annoyance and turned back to face her. I want to let you know, Brooke announced, we're renewing our vows. I suppose she meant her wedding vows. I'd never met her husband. I didn't even know his name. Our anniversary is coming up, so we're planning something fantastic, Brooke declared. Okay, so maybe I'd finally get invited to her house. I might need you to do some minor alterations on the gowns, Brooke said. What had I been thinking? Nothing big, Brooke added quickly. I know your sewing skills need a lot of improvement. Just as I was seriously considering popping the lid off my travel cup and dousing her with tomato juice, Brooke gave me a little finger wave and hurried away. I headed down Main Street again, thoroughly annoyed, partly because I hadn't been able to wear my favorite jeans today, and the tomato juice tasted awful, but mostly with Brooke because her assessment of my sewing skills was accurate. Shortly after moving to Hideaway Grove, I'd found myself heading up a charity project making pillowcase dresses for girls in Africa. At the time, my sewing skills were pretty much non-existent. I'd converted the storage room in Aunt Sarah's bakery into a sewing studio, invited women to join the project, and it had turned out to be a fun, productive time for everyone involved. My sewing skills had improved a little, and I'd become known in Hideaway Grove for my willingness to help with whatever sewing projects needed to be done. Since few people owned a sewing machine these days, I was happy to do minor alterations or repairs. Still, I definitely wouldn't be auditioning for Project Runway anytime soon. Along the way, I'd learned to operate a beast of an embroidery machine, and had started making tote bags that featured the town's much-loved symbol, the owl, along with cute, clever captions to sell to tourists at Hideaway Grove's many events, and in some of the shops in town. Thanks to my business degree, my one act of rebellion against my academic parents, and with visions of grandeur, I'd then decided to start my own company selling the totes. All I can say is that it seemed like a good idea at the time. Main Street dead-ended at the government center. City Hall, the courts, the library, the sheriff's station, and other offices were housed there, alongside a hotel and conference center. Stretched out in front of the buildings was the village green, with picnic tables, playground equipment, and a bandstand, where many of Hideaway Grove's civic events took place. The visitor center, my destination this morning, was also in the complex, situated on the left. The visitor center and the hotel and conference center bracketed the government offices. I'd gotten a part-time job there a few weeks ago, which says something about the tote bag business I'd started. And now spent a portion of my days answering phones, giving tours to site committees, assisting tourists who were lost or had lost something, and just about anything else that needed to be done. The visitor center wasn't open for business yet, so I circled to the rear of the complex, where a large lot provided parking and space for deliveries. Even back here, Hideaway Grove's welcoming vibe continued, with shrubs, flowers, and shade trees. No cars were parked near the visitor center. The rest of the lot was pretty crowded, thanks to the offices in the complex that were already open.